Right off the bat, I do want to let you guys know that this is inspired by Nicole Guerrero. I even use like really similar colors to what she used, but it is a slightly different technique and design, I guess. But as you can see, I just started off by sketching out what I wanted to do with a white eyeliner like I always do. And then I'm taking this light blue paint. This is the Mehron light blue face paint, as I just said. And I'm taking that around the areas that I just sketched, being very careful as I'm getting closer to the area, so I just go around very carefully. Next, I'm taking the Mehron, I think this is called light pink. This is the shade light pink, and it's also a water-based paint, and I'm just shading in the area of the brain with the pink, but then I end up going in with this cream colored pink just to give it more dimension. This is the exact same thing Nicole did, by the way, but I was just shading the outer parts and like random parts of the brain to give it more dimension. And now I'm taking the NYX white liquid liner and I'm sketching out where the teeth are gonna go. And believe me, I literally erased this 3 times because I was not happy with the shape of the teeth. But basically, as she said, she draws like little houses. I kind of do the same thing. And then I'm coloring the other part of the mouth pink, the same pink that I used. Then I am taking the cream paint in white and I'm filling in the teeth. Now I'm just outlining the entire mouth and each individual tooth with black paint, and I'm using a very, very thin paintbrush to do this. I highly recommend finding the thinnest brush you can find to be able to do this, and I got mine at the craft store. You can order on Amazon. I've seen so many people do that as well. You can find these everywhere. They're not that hard to find. Now I'm just shading in the bottom and top of the mouth, and I do that first by creating little flicks so it kind of gives it more dimension and it doesn't look like just a solid shading, if that makes sense. And then I took a black eyeshadow and very lightly went over that, but I let the little flicks still pop through so it looks like an actual mouth, I guess, if that makes sense. Now I'm just doing the other side of the mouth, which is my normal lips, but I am way overlining them. And to do this, I use the cream pink paint that you saw me use on the brain. And I'm outlining the lips in the same black paint to give it that cartoony effect. Now I'm just painting the nose black. You just want to make sure that it's completely blacked out, but you could do whatever shape you want. I did more of like the skeleton type shape that you see in a lot of like skull looks and stuff this time of year, and I'm just shading that in using the black paint. For eyebrows, you can do really whatever you want. You can cover them if you want with the glue and like actually cover them and paint them your own color. But what I did was I took a cream white paint and I just covered them as best I could because I didn't really want to put the glue on. And then I went in with a purple shadow. You can go in with a purple paint if you want, or you can even leave them alone, who cares. Or you can just cover them with eyeshadow like the way they are, but it won't stand out as much, just know that. With a cream product, it's just going to make them stand out. And of course, you have to outline them in the black paint to make them look more cartoony as well. Now I'm just taking the cream black face paint and I'm covering my eyelid in this shade. I figured it would be the easiest way to make the black stand out because I did go ahead and set it with black eyeshadow, and then I took a tealish eyeshadow from the Morphe James Charles palette and just blended it on top just to create like this nice black gradient smoky eye to the like color scheme we're going with, if that makes sense. And I just really blended that out nicely, and now I'm just outlining the eyeball that's going under. And you do have to do like a little semicircle under your eye to make it look like your eye is actually coming out of the bottom part of your eye, if that makes sense. And I'm just taking the white cream paint and shading in the bottom part of the eye, and then I go in with the Mehron red face paint, and this is going, you're not supposed to put this near the eye, so I don't recommend this. I recommend using like a cream paint. And now I'm just taking a thin brush and creating like the little eyeball veins that eyeballs have, and now I'm just creating the actual eyeball itself, which I took a mix of a few blue paints, and because I'm wearing blue contacts, so that's what I did. And now I'm just outlining the brain in black to make it more cartoony. I honestly don't know how to draw a brain. If I could go back, I would make like thinner tubes. And like by tubes, I mean like little S-shaped blocked letters, I guess. and not the way I did it, but like this looks like a jumbled up mess. I don't really know what a brain looks like. Have you ever seen a live brain? I have not. But now I'm just shading in with some black eyeshadow, and then I go in with some white base paint to give it some highlight, some dimension, some depth, make it look like an actual brain, even though I don't know what that looks like. Now I'm just drawing like a black line, and I shaded it in a little bit, and then I just add like the teal colors, and I do a gradient effect, make it look more like a skull type thing, I guess, make it look more like a zombie, and just drawing different lines in different areas of my faces that I feel need them, like just adding more details, and then going in with white eyeliner and just highlighting those lines. Now I'm creating the skull cheekbone, and I'm taking a light teal shade and drawing it out first before going in with black paint and defining it, and then I just take more of that teal shade and just blend it out, make it like a nice gradient. And then of course just highlighting that area with a white eyeliner like I've been doing for every other little detail and the rest of the face. For the other eye, I'm first going in with the light pink paint, and I'm just shading in the bottom part, and I'm filling the eyelid with the blue paint, the light blue paint. Basically the bottom part, it's supposed to be if your eyelid's like droopy, I guess. And of course you have to outline that to make it look more cartoony. And then what I did was like create the little folds, and just by drawing random lines in random places and shading in the outer corners, it's gonna look exactly like a droopy eye. So now I'm just putting a teal eyeshadow on my eye. If I could change one thing about this look, it would be to pay more attention with the way I did the eyeshadow there, because it does not look blended and it looks kind of weird. But I am a zombie anyway, so I guess it didn't really matter. As you saw, I did go ahead and outline the bottom of my face. It's gonna separate my face and my neck. And then I created like little hole, like I created little C's, just create a little hole on that side of my face. And now I'm creating like, I guess it would be like a gunshot wound, I'm not sure, but it's like this little red area, and I outlined it in black, and I show you more detail when I do it on my chest. But I am moving on to my chest, and I'm creating the, I guess, 3 rectangles where the what body part is that? I guess the spine, whatever you see in a skeleton would be. Wow, I need to learn my anatomy, but I'm pretty sure I guess that's part of the spine that you would see there. But I'm just filling that in with white paint, and then I just outlined the area that I'm going to keep black, and so I don't color it in the same light blue, but basically I'm just covering the rest of my upper body in the light blue paint. Now I'm just filling in the area that I blocked out in the black paint, and obviously you see how slow I'm going because I don't want to get any of the black paint into the white paint. But I also extended like the little points that you see. I created another point. I just made it like my own. It doesn't have to be any particular shape. And then I'm just adding lines. I'm adding little details, and then I also shade in some of the areas. When it dries down, I think it's toward the end actually, I add little white lines to give it highlight as well. Just, you know, really trying to make the pop art effect really apparent. And now I'm just using some cream yellow paint, and I just created this goo. Nicole did this too. I debated not doing this, and I just outlined it in the black paint, by the way. But I debated not doing this, but I didn't know what else I would do in that area, and it would look a little blank because I do go on the other side with something else. And I debated doing like worms or something. Like I've seen pop art zombies have worms, but then I felt like I had to integrate that into my face, and there was just no room for it. So I just went with the goo that Nicole did, even though I wasn't particularly fond of it. But yeah, I'm creating the same like gunshot wound, I guess, situation in the other side, and I take the red paint first, and then I go in with black paint just to outline it and give it more dimension. And I make the points really like black, and I make it like a gradient effect, I guess. I'm just putting the finishing touches on everything, creating lines and highlighting them, creating shadows, and that's pretty much it for this look. I really hope you enjoyed it. This was so much fun recreating, and if you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!